Raymond, who is that? Who done called the folks? Somebody done called the popo. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? GameFi Podcast Season 2. I don't even know what episode we on, but we just here. We doing it, y'all. We having fun. I got some folks up here at the table with me, doing what we do. GameFi Podcast, where we talk everything gaming, arts, music, esports, and film. We're here in Atlanta, Georgia, on the LivehiphopDaily studios. GameFi Podcast, brought to you by Pharaoh's Conclave, PCS Go, DoorDash, Google, Microsoft, and you know what? Really, we brought to you by all the folks that love gaming, that love movies, that love cartoons and music, for real, good music, real people music. That's what's up, man. So thank y'all again for coming, hanging out with us as always. Again, I'm your host, Coach E, in the house. And so we're going to get to my guest today. Would you mind introducing yourself?
Why, sure.
Go for it.
Hey, everybody out there. My name is Kinshasa Msola, and I'm the owner of Kinjoy.
Kinjoy.
Oh, you recording that, man.
Oh, hey. I'm always out there trying to figure out some more work to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get it how we live. So Kinjoy, tell us a little bit about Kinjoy. What is Kinjoy?
Kinjoy is an events management company that is there to cultivate Black joy. So we do unique events that bring about happiness, joy, based off the principles of positive psychology. Positive psychology. Oui.
Ooh, wait. And we speaking French up in here. Is it the French read, the royal read? What we talk now? Man, we're having fun. So, Sugar.
Yes.
I heard there was this name, this nickname, Sugar. So what is that all about?
Oh, man.
Where did that come from?
Middle school.
Middle school?
Middle school.
Oh, man.
Sugar.
So they just like sugar, brown sugar, babe. Sugar. Where does sugar come from?
I'm a little bit. Let's just say I have a lot of energy. Just a little bit.
So they trying to say you a hyper?
I don't like that term. I have a lot of energy.
But see, people I take hyper back because the first part of hyper is hype. So if you get hype, that's what we do.
Oh, you just made. Oh, I love you.
There it is. Man. So okay, so we got Sugar on here. Is it okay if I call you Sugar?
Of course.
All right. And so, I'm from the South, so it's going to be like Sugar. It ain't going to be like Sugar. It's going to be Sugar. That's how we do.
Sugar, baby.
We made that. Nah, yeah, shout out Sugar, shout out. You know what I'm saying? She up here in Southwest Atlanta on the ones and twos doing her thing right now.
You flipped it, right?
Hey, I'm down South Georgia, boy, from East Side Atlanta. That's how we do. Oh, man. So, culturally enjoyable events.
Yes.
So how did you get started with that? So
basically, like I kind of just told you that I've always had this crazy, high energy, optimistic. I'm like the cheerleader, which can be very annoying at times. But I've always been there, always had it, and for years, people have been telling me to calm it down. It's like, what? Yes. You
turned down for what?
Turned down for what?
They need to come up. Right. Don't come. You ain't tell you to calm down. They need to come up, man. Okay, so
unfortunately, that's our people. We've gone through so much, and we are such a resilient people.
True.
But because of the past, it's like don't smile in that pic, or there's nothing to be happy about.
You don't want to be. You don't want to be too aggressive. You don't want to be. You don't want to be. Too somber.
Right.
We gotta skirt that line and stay under the radar and just do what we do. But you know what? It's time out for that.
Exactly.
We can't do that no more.
Exactly.
We cannot do that anymore. So I'm gonna start off with my hardest question. But before I do, we're gonna go ahead and take this into our gaming segment. Joy and happiness.
Yeah.
Just playing, you doing your thing. GameFi podcast, running into the gaming segment here on this episode. Got Sugar on the stage right here. I shouldn't say that. That doesn't sound right. She...
That's why I'm careful with the I mean, it has followed me through middle school, man.
See, we're not going way off the rails at this point. I'm crying, y'all. Oh, my God. Oh, God. Okay. Yeah, we're going to stick to Kenjoy. We'll stick with the company.
I'll take it.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my God. This is going to be great to watch. Okay. Okay, I'm pulling it back out. So, we're going to start in the gaming segment of the GameFi podcast where we talk everything gaming, arts, music, esports, and film. Now we're going to get into our next question. It's it's the top question, number one question. When did you first fall in love with video games?
I first fell in love with video games, I'm going to say about 4 or 5 years old.
All right.
And believe it or not, it wasn't an actual video game. It was a computer, Tetris. My mom went to Radio Shack and bought a Tandy computer. I think I'm dating myself.
No,
I look young, but
hey, first of all, good black don't crack.
Woo,
hey, I'm down with the Tandys. I know the Tandys. I used to go to Radio Shack and play with them until my dad got me a Commodore 64, and my wife never had a home computer for a long time. She was on Apple IIe's in her computer lab. So you not, come on now, ain't nothing wrong with that. You an OG. You real in these gaming streets.
Yes.
On the Tandy.
But that's all I did. I didn't do anything else.
Because she had the every time with the caveman doing the wheel. Come on now.
Oh my God, that just touched my heart.
I'm there. I'm with you. See, that's how you know when folks real, when they remember the advertisement. That means that was some good marketing.
Yes.
That was some good behind marketing on that one. So, okay. So you had the Tandy.
I had the
came
Tandy.
on and you was playing Tetris on the Tandy.
Yes. Before, I don't even think the name was Tetris. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
It was probably Tetris or Block Turner, Block
Something.
Reiner. It could have been anything.
It could have been anything. But that was my first introduction.
Okay.
Loved it.
And see, that's funny because I remember when I had, of course, I went through all of that. Then the Segas. The first handheld game that I really had that was console based was the Game Boy.
Okay.
From Nintendo, and we had Tetris on it. And I remember I got in trouble in school, and my mama took my Tetris, and she blames me today for her loss of her eyesight. Because she took my Tetris and she stayed up all night for weeks playing Tetris in the bed at night. And so she blames me for that. I don't know why. I don't know, but Tetris is a very addictive game.
Yes.
I can't tell you how long I played Tetris, and I still love it. Matter of fact, I got a Gather Town is like this metaverse online gaming platform where you can come in and do Zooms and stuff for conferences, right? Companies, I'm working with them to help develop it.
Okay.
And there's a game in there that's like a Tetris game that you can interact with. And I just love it. So any of those games, but that's where they got.
It's the basics.
That's the basics.
I mean, it's the core. If
there was no Tetris, there'd be no Candy Crush.
Right.
No Bejeweled.
Right.
None of that would be here. So
right.
That's where you had to start. So Tetris, and then what was after Tetris?
After Tetris, my brother got the Nintendo first. So we grew up, like everybody else, right?
Oh yeah.
So my mother got one Nintendo, and I grew up a big family. Born and raised Hartford, Connecticut. Grandmother had about 22 children.
Whoa.
See, my great grandmother 22, my grandmother 11.
Wow.
So I got cousins like no other, right?
Yeah, y'all really are a nation.
Huge family. But nothing but boys. I was the only female.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Well, that could be a good or a bad thing. How did you feel? I mean, I know you were very protected.
Yeah, very protected.
Number one, so you probably couldn't do too much, your boyfriends and everybody.
There was no such thing.
Yeah.
There was no such thing.
But, you probably was, I don't know, that's probably hard. If you
Well, I mean,
What do you think?
to this, I feel like it made me the person who I am today. Which back then I was a geek. I was a nerd. I was into comic books. I was playing with the G.I. Joes. I was on the street playing football with the boys.
Could I raise my hand in the high?
Right. I mean, but now it's cool. That wasn't cool.
Nah.
That wasn't cool when we were young.
It was not. It was not.
You know, hanging with my big brother or hanging with my big cousin, they're the ones who introduced me to, you know, the Nintendo, the Atari, the comic books.
Yeah.
You know, before it became movies. You know,
right, man. And
I was a geek before it was cool.
Well, you know, we were ahead of our time.
Right.
We were just ahead of our time.
Right.
We were ahead of our time. So, oh man, you just really took me when you said the Tandy. You took me down, you really did take me down memory lane on that one. So when we talk about gaming now, gaming is very, very popular. Everything is gaming, and when I explain, so this our company, we teach career development in the gaming and esports industry, but digital entertainment overall.
I love that.
So when we talk to parents, we make sure that they understand when we talk gaming. Now, first of all, in education spheres, you got to be careful. When you say gaming, you know, they understand now that we're talking about video games, but then they'll be like, oh, not gambling gaming, because gaming is, you know,
I didn't think about that.
That was really the only industry for gambling that would say the gaming industry.
Right.
They had that moniker for a long time. So now you have the esports and the video games coming up, and I mean, you know, they've been there, but they're starting to get a lot of attention. So when we explain to parents about gaming, we make sure that they know and understand that it is a huge opportunity. That these companies are companies first, which means you got the regular HR, marketing, finance, and law that has to exist for companies to exist, to be solid. But then you have the development side of things,
right? And
so with that, other companies are starting to pick up on that. So you had your regular techie tech companies like your Microsofts and Apples and whatnot. And when people think about gaming, they think about those companies first. But not a lot of people are realizing that all companies are tech companies, number one. But now they are trying to gamify what they offer.
Right.
Because they have these social media platforms, they have these websites, and they're trying to keep people on their website. So they're gamifying, pun intended with the podcast, gamify. We talk about that. It's the gamification of marketing and and websites and just business in general. Have you seen that? So you've been doing these events.
Yes.
Have you seen, so I know they have sponsors and stuff like that, and even the people who are putting on the events. How have they kind of gamified their offerings to get people to come to the events, maybe buy tickets, maybe participate? What have you seen?
I mean, from the start to the end. I mean, gamification is nothing new. You know, heck, airlines, credit cards, you name it.
You win points.
Yeah, exactly. That's a form of gamification. I don't know about you, but I don't go anywhere without that Starbucks app.
So what's your favorite drink? What's your favorite drink at Starbucks?
Caramel macchiato.
Caramel Vente. Caramel macchiato. I'm actually a spiced apple cider.
Oh, spicy.
Yes, caramel spice.
Okay.
Apple spice caramel. It's not a macchiato. It's just a cider. I don't know. They know it when I talk to them. They're like, hey, give me that cider with that caramel.
It's just hot water.
Hey, but it's sweet though. It's got a little sugar in it. See, I had to make sure I got the R in there just right now. I'm just kidding. So this is y'all don't know how much fun we're having right now. But yes, so you know, gamify. Even I remember, you know, we used to have a photo booth and we would go to fundraisers and stuff like that. Even that is, you know. Hey,
let's go back forward. You remember elementary school?
Right.
When you have the fundraisers and you would sell cookies or something. And at the back of the cookies, if you sell 20 cookies, you get this. If
that's
you
how,
get 30
man.
Cookies, that's still a form of gamification.
I would do that, and I'd have you have your magazine, and then it would be how many points you would get to get this, that, and you would go to the hot things like a video game or you know
the power wheel.
Oh yeah, oh my God! So you get the go-karts, cars, all of the big stuff. the big ticket items, you had to make sure you sold. So I was like, Mama, we got to do something. I want this right here. So I got to get to work. But that was gamification even then. But now, fast forward, we don't have those magazines anymore.
We have the cell phone.
It's right here. So now you know, and then you can track your points, do what you need to do. Like you said, credit cards, Starbucks, anybody, they want you to get points. And in order to get points, you got to spend money. Right. So they figured out how to make a little bit more of that cheddar.
From the marketing, like us and you can win this. Purchase something, you can win this. Tell a friend, you can win this.
Exactly. Because word of mouth is some of the best marketing. And with this right here, it's the best. So tell us about your gaming events.
Well, so like I said, we do unique events that bring about joy. So that can be anything. My biggest, I guess, what I really want to do is be like a catalyst of like a mind shift for our people, right? I want us to, sometimes we have to stop adulting, right? And sometimes we have to just chill out, back up, and breathe.
Stop adulting.
Stop adulting.
Oh, that was great. I'm gonna have to take that one.
Oh man.
We'll work. No. We'll get with it. We'll get with it. We can make that. We can make that work.
But too often are we, especially our people, we're on this. We're trudge. You gotta hustle. You gotta hustle. We have that hustle mindset, which is beautiful. But we don't stop. And what they say, stop and smell the roses.
Yeah.
So while you on that journey, you gotta pause and you have to reflect on how far you've come or what you've done, or you have to bring about this joy. So that joy doesn't happen at the end of the journey. No. It happens all throughout. It happens daily. You gotta do it.
You gotta have it. If there's no joy, why keep doing it?
Right.
And I tell people that all the time. I mean, I wouldn't be doing what I was doing if I didn't like it.
If it wasn't that passion for it.
If there was no passion for it, I couldn't do it. So
I'm throwing little subliminal messages down there to tell people, they
need it though. Right. That's the thing to make people go about. I mean, this is time. I mean, with COVID and all that, this is the time right now. If you did not like what you was doing before, figure something out because life is short. Right. And nobody's gonna come to your funeral to do anything else for you
unless it's gamified.
If they show up, and then they're gonna have somebody in your place right after that. So I mean, you really ain't gotta do that. So I know we have your events with your gaming events. So are these like tournaments, or you just bring gaming to it to make it fun?
So I bring gaming to it. So I have two types of events. I have social events like joy events where bring people together and we can do anything. Like last Tuesday I had a Wu-Tang trivia.
Wu-Tang. Hey,
are you watching? Children. Sorry, my bad.
Are you watching the Wu-Tang saga?
Are you crazy? Am I not watching?
Okay, I gotta binge the rest of this season, man.
Get on it.
I gotta finish it. The last one I saw when they was on the ferry. That was at the beginning of the season. I know. So, but I'm cool with that because it allows me to sit down and I can just watch one after the other. I ain't got to wait. You know what I'm saying? I like it. I like give me my shows right now so I can see the rest of it. But I love, Wu-Tang. I mean, oh my God.
But it was just a regular trivia, but I threw like all different types of again gamification in it. Previously, before that was a field day event. Regular field. Remember, like I said, you're an educator, I'm an educator. We have field day at the end of the school.
April, May.
Yep.
Gotta have it. That was the best time of the day.
Yes.
I mean, best time of the year. Of the year. It was the best time of the day when you were doing it.
Exactly.
Of the year, everybody, because I had to make sure we won tug of war, the relay race, like
potato sack.
We had to stack our team. We was looking at class like, okay. Ooh, and then the first year of school, you be thinking about it at the first year, like, okay, we gonna kill field day. You in my class this year? It's on the pop.
You get that tall dude that stayed back a couple of times, we won. That's it.
We gotta do what we gotta do. So exactly what happened?
So exactly what you said. The field day, we played tug of war, we played potato sack race. I just wanted the people to come, the participants to just pause, stop adulting, stop No stress, no anxiety.
So wait, was this field day for school students
No,
or for?
This is for adults.
Thank you.
Yeah, adult.
Ding, ding, ding. So
day.
basically, you was doing the Squid Game before Squid Game. You had them out there doing.
I'm lame. I haven't even watched Squid Game.
I haven't even.
Okay.
I just know it's adults playing. You know the games we would play on field day. They did tug of war. They did red light, green light, and they was getting shot if they kept moving. I don't know. I ain't seen it yet. I kind of.
Mine wasn't that hard. I was just shooting.
Okay. Well, you know what? You can hit them with a water balloon.
I like that. I like that.
You know what I'm saying? You got to shoot nobody. Hey, see, wait a minute. Trademark. See, we are just, see, we supposed to be working together. That's how that works. That's how that goes. So these were adults doing the field day game.
Yes.
And so this was like with companies or
this was
teachers?
I threw it out on Instagram. I said, Ken Joy is having an adult field day. It was in August. Had about 30, 40 people come, and we broke up into teams, and we played some competitive. You have never seen people potato sack their butt
First of all, it's adults. You know we competitive.
Yes.
And we owe. So we like, look, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to win.
Exactly.
I ain't going to put on this potato sack if we going to lose.
Exactly. My team lost. I'm a little perturbed.
It's okay, though. It's all about the competition. It's all about the competition. Right. So, okay. Well, okay. So, since I know you from you with me growing up, did you spend a lot of time in arcades?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Mortal Kombat.
So there are a lot of mini arcade games now that you can now buy because it used to be very, very expensive, very, very clunky.
Right.
You can get the mini games in there. So I think what we need to do is we need to do a retro gaming event.
Done.
So we can do, you know, bring out the I got the Atari, I got the Sega, I got the Nintendo. Super Nintendo.
You have the mini or the
minis because they did the reboot.
I have my old Nintendo. Like I still have my Nintendo.
You got to blow the cartridges.
Blow the cartridges. See, I got about 84 cartridges at the house.
That's how you know it's an OG.
Yes,
you sit next to an OG. If you didn't blow your cartridges to make them work, you had a silver spoon. You was baby weight if you didn't know how to do all that.
I say let's bring all of them out.
Man,
we'll play with the newer ones.
Yeah.
So it don't take an hour to start the game. Mike Tyson's Punch Out or something. But
I know. But see, the thing about those consoles that I love, you usually just plug them up and you play.
Right.
See, I got the Xbox now. I plug it in somewhere and it's looking for the Wi-Fi, and I can't play a doggone game because I'm not online. And then I gotta have a doggone account, and then I gotta log into my account, and it's gotta recognize me, and then I can get into the game, and then I can set it up. But if I have my old school game, I plug it in. What's up?
Call it a day.
Let's do it.
Let's
do it. So that's number one.
Okay.
So we probably gonna come out with a list of things that we're gonna end up working on coming out of this right here. So okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so we did the gaming segment, y'all. Thank y'all for being here, GameFi Podcast. Now we're moving on to our arts segment. Thank you for joining us at the GameFi Podcast, where we talk everything gaming, arts, music, esports, and film. Now we're transitioning over to our art segment here with Ken Joy in the house. Man, we've been having so much fun. I just can't wait till we gotta keep this, man.
I know.
It's so much. It's so much. All right. So we talked about gamifying your events. Now, when we talk about arts, when it comes to what we're in, when you talk about marketing, right? When you're talking about getting your word out and doing those things to make people notice who you are, you have to do things.
Right.
And those are careers that are in that a lot of people don't think about. So a lot of the artists who do art, they can also do the art for companies.
Right.
For them to know. So how do you use art with your business, with letting people know about your events and things that you're doing?
I love the way you just said that, because I feel like when we were growing up, when you think about art, you just think of, you know, the artist, the painter. You didn't think about graphic design. Graphic design. You know, which, you know, would have benefited. I would have got a degree in it. You know, if that was something when we were growing up. If they didn't tell us that, you know,
if you're gonna be somebody, you got to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's it. Or teacher. You could be a teacher, but you weren't making a lot of money in that. So
I would say that's my claim to fame when you come to art is the creativity I bring forth with my marketing and my graphic design work. I am an educator first.
Right.
And as an educator, you usually create your own lessons, and I was always that overdoer. It wasn't just a lesson; it had to be something else. I had to theme it out, or
that's right. That's right. I mean, we had teacher keys, and in order to get evaluated correctly, you had to show evidence that you were bringing. See, I'm an educator. I ain't playing. So it had to be evident, or if it wasn't evident, then they say needs improvement, or what was the statement that was I don't remember. Anywho, that's why I got out of the classroom, because I was like, y'all asking me too much. Now, I got to wipe noses. I got to make sure people got on the clothes. I got to make sure people have eaten.
Yes.
I got to make sure people and this is all before we actually teach my lesson.
You got 7 jobs.
So
it's like, what is that? 11 color. Your legs are like being the cook, the cleaner, the janitor.
Everything. You had to be everything. So
and teach.
Oh man, and teach. But okay. So yes, tell me. So how did you incorporate your teaching side, things that you learned, into your business? I'm looking at some goodies over here. I'm loving what I'm seeing.
It's just bringing that extra to any lesson. So again, we had a Wu-Tang trivia on Tuesday, and usually when you think of bar trivia, you go into a bar or a restaurant, whatever. They ask questions, you answer the questions. That's it. Now with me.
Oh, okay.
So when you walk in, I want all of my events to be a whole experience.
Immersive experiences.
Yes. You're walking into, first I had iPad set up, iPad stations where they chose their Wu-Tang name. So there's a Wu-Tang name generator.
Wait, what was your Wu-Tang name?
Lord Respecto.
Lord
Respecto. Or Respectus or something. I was like, okay.
What would be my, I don't know what my Wu-Tang name. I'm gonna think about it.
I'll pull it up. No, there's an actual generator online.
It generates. See, and gamification, y'all. And see, we use those random generators inside of the classroom because you couldn't just point at students, and when they came in evaluation, they wanted to see you pull a popsicle stick or press the random generator to pick the student. And so now I see you.
Bring it all in.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So after you walk in, you would get your I
would get my name.
You would get your name, your Wu name. You would pick your badge, and all the badges are a different Wu member, and then you would put that badge on. Yes, it's just a badge, but walking in and doing that. That's my girl.
That's what I'm talking about. See, chemical in the house, getting it ready. Okay, so
write
my actual name.
Your actual name.
My government name. The first name and last, or just first?
Just give me first right now.
All right, here we go. And I just say return. And wait.
Crane Violet.
Crane Violet. Crane Violet. God, dog.
Wait, but I get Crane.
I got Crane style. I'm cool with that, but why Violet?
I don't know. Because you're violent, son.
God, I mean, okay. I'm gonna get it.
Wu-Tang is for the children.
I'm gonna get it. I'm getting my New York. Yo, son, yo, Safi, yo, son, yo, God. This your boy Crane Violet in the house. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get it down for the Wu-Tang. This how we doing on the trivia on the GameFi podcast. Your boy Crane Violet. So no longer Coach E right now. It's Crane Violet, and that's what we doing. That's what we doing here. So let me get that on there. So you got to get you a new name.
I was about to say. Now, the cool thing about this is, if this is, I hate you.
I'm just saying, this is the.
So I'm going to put sugar, which I believe I put. Then it should come up the same. Oh no.
Big cat visual. Big. We got to do this. We got to do this. Now let me ask you this. Okay, so this particular generator. Where did you find this generator? Like, can we say? So I guess it's based on, it'll take a name and do something that's in the genre for Wu-Tang. Right. Because I'm feeling the different vibes of the name. So we're Pharaoh's conclave. So we're Egyptian. We like Egyptian things. Right. So will we be able to make the generator kind of pick names based on that? I don't know. I mean, but if not, that means we need to make it.
I was just about to say.
Opportunity.
I love it. Because right now it's basing off of, probably Wu-Tang names. Somebody was Shaolin something.
Or lyrics.
Or
the lyrics, and so it's picking the parts and pieces, and so we could really make if it does not exist, if it doesn't exist, we need to program that. And I got the programmers. That's what we do. That's what we do.
The idea.
Okay, so we got the events we got to do.
Okay, and then when the sisters walked in the bar, you know, this was for everybody, but when the sisters walked, they can choose a pin, and the pins are based off of an ice cream. Sisters? I mean, you was chocolate deluxe day.
Butter pecan. I'm not butter pecan. I'm a little darker.
You was chocolate deluxe.
Chocolate delight. Oh, rich vanilla. That's the light skin caramel sundae, a little darker, and then the butter pecan. I'll probably put. That's probably the light. Yep. And matter of fact, now I'm looking at the doggone thing. It does work. Right. You see how we come in so many different shades.
Oh, beautiful.
And the fact that I wasn't even looking at the different colors of the actual tops, the tops of the waffle cone. They actually correspond to names. I wasn't even noticing that. I was just looking at the names. And I said, well, it should be French vanilla. You probably put, but I just innately did that, and that's cultural. And you were saying you were bringing culture into the events.
Right.
This is something that I could relate to.
Right.
And it would make me feel good because we understand that even if you didn't even have those up there, I would gravitate to the one that I think I look like.
Right. Right.
And for a young lady, so you remember that doll test? That's psychology.
The black dolls.
The black doll test. You know, they took the white doll because they thought it was good or beautiful, this or that, and then the bad doll or all this other was the black doll.
Right.
Forget that. Let's take that back. Understand your color and love your color.
And love it.
If you French vanilla, then
because we make
French
everything.
vanilla.
We make everything.
Oh my gosh, I love this. And y'all, this
so that's based off of, you know, the ice cream man is coming. You know, well, Method Man. That's based off the what is that 1990 song.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something about Method Man in a minute. And it's gonna be like, you're gonna be like, wow. But anyway, we're gonna get to that. It's not a bad thing, it's a great thing actually. So they got this, but again, artwork, marketing.
Right.
Go around with this. I mean, this is something people would want to do and put out. Because I can see them after the event going to work. Hey y'all, chocolate delight. What's up, y'all? What y'all think? What y'all think? Oh, I think you be caramel sundae. That's conversations. And then they say, hey, I was at this event. We did this. Come to the next one.
Right.
Marketing.
Right. Word
of mouth. Right there. That's how we do it. Artwork. It's nostalgia.
Right.
It's nostalgia. I love it. This man, y'all just think of it.
That's that educator. That's everything. You know?
I ain't had time. See, you know, I'm not gonna say all male educators, but you know, I really wasn't doing all this in my classroom. I was like, you know,
I was the kid who
the
reminded the teacher they didn't give homework.
So you had the bulletin board that was off the chain.
Yes.
See,
oh yes.
I'd have pulled some stuff off your bulletin board and blamed it on the student.
They did.
Doing too much. She just doing too much. Okay, then we got my Wu-Tang tribute.
Can I brag? One of my favorite bulletin boards was "Technology is popping." You remember my lip gloss is popping when that song came out? I was teaching.
Yeah.
But I popped popcorn and then hot glued popcorn on the words "popping."
I hate you.
Oh, my bulletin! I just had to do that. I'm sorry.
I would have smacked all that popcorn off that doggone bulletin board. Somebody else did that, or it was yours?
Oh no, it was mine.
Yeah, I'd have knocked them off. I'd have knocked it off, and I'd be like, "Look at these bad kids." No, well, let's go watch the tape. Oh no, don't watch the tape. I'd have been caught. Bad. Oh, the creativity. I'm loving this.
Not only the kids love, but adults.
Yeah.
Adults love that. Gamification, when so after leaving education, I started training teachers on technology.
Okay.
So that's what I currently do now.
Okay.
I'm glad.
Technologist. We gotta. I'm gonna have this conversation. No. Remember I told you earlier, I had a workshop I did with some kids, and we're gonna talk about it a little bit. I'm trying to see. I'm thinking about the segment. So, you know, we got art. We're in the art segment right now. Okay. This doesn't fit the art segment per se. Not necessarily music. Esports kind of, but film, I don't know. We're just gonna talk about it anyway, and we're just gonna move it through. And this is you know what? This is the Kenjoy takeover. We're just gonna make this the takeover. So we're gonna talk about what you want to talk about, and as it goes, we're just gonna play some music to go with it,
sir.
And it's gonna be what it's gonna be. That's what we're gonna. That's how we're gonna make this happen.
I love it.
We're gonna make a transition right now. So we're gonna transition over into the music side of things. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wu-Tang. Crane Violet.
Yeah.
Well, I don't actually know how to write, but see, this would be, I'd start spitting over this right here if I actually knew how to rap. And
My name is Sugar, and I'm the best of the DJs. Sorry,
you ain't no peaches. You ain't peaches.
My bad.
See, you done got me back in. So now we got Sugar on the stage. Now we got peaches on the stage. That ain't working. We can't do that, y'all. We can't not
I'm sorry,
do that.
I'm
Oh my
sorry.
gosh, we cannot do that. Oh my god. They're gonna be like, I ain't never seen him cry laughing on one of his shows. Oh my goodness. But welcome to the music segment of the GameFi podcast, where we talk everything gaming, arts, music, esports, and film. It's your boy Crane Violet on here doing this thing with what was your name again?
Kinshasa.
No,
Crane Violet and what is it?
Oh, it's on you. I was like,
Big Cat Visual.
Big Cat Visual in the house. So
BCV?
yeah, Crane Violet and your girl Big Cat Visual up in here. We doing this thing right now on the LivehiphopDaily studios. Yeah. We making it happen. So we moving into the music segment. So we were talking about the event and we're going through there. So Wu-Tang, so actually it works.
Yeah.
We got the Wu-Tang trivia going on. We talked about the art and how it's related to the marketing, and then now we're going into the music. So we heard the music leading us in. Music puts you in the mood.
Yes.
Music is a vibe.
Yes.
It will turn your frown upside down and everything. So musically, what is the experience coming to your event? What are you doing?
That's funny because a lot of my events are based off of that vibe you get, the memories that can come with music.
Yes.
One of the first events I met Kimiko at was at Nappy Roots.
Okay.
Meet and greet.
Okay.
So I kind of attached to that. I am definitely an 80s, 90s baby.
Yeah.
I'm lame. I know nobody new school.
No, that's okay. You're not supposed. Let me tell you. I went to the Trap Museum. Excuse me. I don't even know how to say it. I went to the Trap Museum. Never had gone before, and we were walking through. They have this exhibit that has your Mount Rushmore of trap artists, and so they only have 3. You know, it's 4 people on there. They only have 3. I think they had T.I., Young Jeezy, and I forgot the third person. Maybe it was Young Dro. Maybe they had them 3, and so the question is, who would be your 4th? And so everybody was like Young Thug or Shawty Low, stuff like that. I was like, listen, I'm old school,
right.
ATL, and I was like, listen, for me it would be, I said Kilo Ali, and they was like, Kilo Ali, who is Kilo? I was like, wait a minute, you don't know who Cocaine? You don't know who that is? There's a white girl in town, name is Cocaine. Get inside your brain, play it like a lamb. Yeah, she's on your good side, cause she make you rich. The first time you hit her, break you like a bit. So I started singing, and I was like, see, y'all young folks, y'all come up here playing games, saying y'all trap.
History.
Y'all don't know. Come on, man.
You gotta know your past.
You gotta know your past. If you don't know where you been, you don't know where you're going. So
St. Copa.
So I was, yeah, we vibing. So, but that's what I'm saying. So the music is a vibe, like you said, the psychology of things, smells, tastes.
Right.
What you hear, the senses, they bring up memories, and so they make you feel immersed and included into whatever you're doing in the spaces that you're in. No. So I'm imagining the music that you were playing was Wu-Tang at the Wu-Tang trivia, or was it just?
Actually, it was slow jazz.
Oh.
No, it was.
I'm leaving.
I'm sorry. Okay, it was Wu.
I'm leaving.
But I also do. So those are the social events. So we have Joy Events.
Joy Events.
And Joy Shops.
Joy Shops.
Joy Shops or workshops. So they're crafting workshops that include networking, meditation, mindfulness, intentional work done. So a lot of times when we're doing a Joy Shop, if I'm training something on somebody, I always have that background music.
Oh my gosh.
Because I want, again, when they're walking in, I want to set a mood. So of course the Wu-Tang, when you're walking in, I want you to set a mood. So I'm getting you hyped. I want Wu-Tang playing. I want videos.
Why have I not been to any of these events? Oh my God!
Well, now you know.
Well, first of all, we're working on this next event that we're gonna have together,
Right,
so it don't even matter.
That's us. We're already partnering.
You know, it's all good. It's all
like
good.
7 events.
But
yes,
this is amazing because the level of thought and the creativity that you put into the event, you can't help but walk out of the event feeling good.
Right.
You can't help but walk out of the event saying that I actually put my time into something that was enjoyable.
Right.
Instead of walking out and saying I could have had a B8.
Right.
Because I hate going to something and leaving and feeling like I just wasted time that I would never get back. And how dare you steal my life? Right. Right. Okay, so the music sets the mood.
So a lot of the Joy shops are you know, old school indie or some I'm an orange moon, you know, from Erykah Badu. That's why
that granola. See, that's what I call it. My wife loves that type of music. Granola. I call it granola. You know what I'm saying? It's granola, yeah, because you got your locks, you know what I'm saying, got your puka shells, you know what I'm saying, they probably wearing some sandals,
your crystals,
and they got their crystals on, you know what I'm saying, they jewelry, and this jewelry is really just some copper, you know, art pieces that they done bend, yes. And so you in your space like that, and everybody's having a good time, right? And they're creative. But that's cool to know, because now if you're in a workshop, instead of calling it a workshop, people feel down and down. Say, oh man, I gotta go to a workshop. No, I'm going to a joy shop. Exactly. So now we're gonna create and do the things we need to do in that. So you got the music in there, right, in the joy shops. So we do game design. So this is actually a great segue. So I had a joy shop. I'm calling my stuff joy shop now. Okay. I had a joy shop. It was game design.
That'd be $20.
I got you on the back end. I got you on the back end. So check us in the mail. All right, cool. All right, got you. So we had a joy shop. It was game design joy shop. See, I didn't even say. I love it. It flows, right? It was game design joy shop. So the kids were from Tennessee, from Nashville, Tennessee. Okay. No, Knoxville. Wait, one of them. I forget which one. No, Knoxville. It was Knoxville. They came in. They were from a Jack and Jill organization, and the moms brought them in. So one of the young students, they were all elementary schoolers, and so they came in, and we were working. And so we spent the majority of the time, you know, it was about, they were learning about their government. And they were learning about Tennessee government and then African Americans in Tennessee government. But as I was talking with the mom, she had a hard time finding all of the African Americans that were involved in the history of Tennessee in politics. Okay. But actually, you know, there's a huge, like during Reconstruction, there's a ton of history when it comes to African American politicians. They took over, and then of course there was a whole Wall Street, Black Wall Street moment that happened. Right. They got kicked out. Right. History. That's a whole. But the students need to know and learn about what's going on. And of course, there are a good number of African American and politicians of color currently. But she couldn't find them, so she had to spread it out. But anyway, the thing was they wanted to design a game, an educational game, to teach government, civics and government to students about Tennessee government and African American politicians in Tennessee. So after we did this amazing joy shop, I mean, I'm patting myself back. The students were engaged, they were involved, they were speaking up. And one of my students, I believe he's in second grade now. He may be third or fourth. I think he's a second grader. He went through our game design camp. Okay. And so he started to teach the game design process that we taught him. So I didn't have to say anything. He was teaching it. And so after that, at the end, he signed off. He was like, Coach E, I'm glad I met you. You changed my life. He almost made me cry on that Zoom. But I was like, that's what we're doing. Right. When you have taught a student to the point where they can teach the lesson to other students, that's the holy grail of education. Right. She said today she got a phone call from one of her parents that were like, well, why were they just doing a Kahoot? And I said, okay, it's not just doing a Kahoot. In the game design process, first of all, these are all pedagogical frameworks that we're working with that are sound teachings in project-based inquiry learning. The students first have to set the foundation. They needed first of all, we're talking about government. So we needed to make sure all the students knew government. They knew the three branches, how they function, and then we switched over to Tennessee government. So they did all that. So we spent a lot of time on Kahoots, teaching that. But at the same time, we were using Kahoots because Kahoot is an educational game.
Exactly.
It's a tool that you use. And so if they're going to create a game that deals with education.
We Kahooted at Wu-Tang Trivia.
See? Exactly.
I had adults that have never seen it in their life, and they were
But they probably had the greatest place. You can do it on your mobile. You can do it on your computer. I mean, and so that you're immersed. You're hands-on to that part. That's project-based learning at its best. So we did all of that. And so I said, well, sometimes, and I have to understand this. As an educator, we know the back end of a lot of things, and parents may not know. And I know that students will say, like if a parent asks, students will say, they'll say, what did you do? Students say, well, we just played Kahoots. And it's like, oh my God, you did so much more than play Kahoot. But students don't know what they don't know.
Right.
They just know that they're in an environment they're learning. And so when you ask them questions, they'll come back to you and everything like that. So I just wanted to explain it. I was like, look, if you need me to come to the parents and let them know kind of the underpinnings of what went on, like they're not going to learn game design in one joy shop.
Not at all.
They're gonna have to, you know, he spent a summer with us, which is why he was able to teach it and say what he said. So to move them from, oh, I know about game design to I can become a game designer or I am a game designer.
That's the definition of mastery. That's what we're trying to do.
We need them to master, but you can't do that overnight. You can't microwave it. So that's what some of the things I used to get back all the time. But again, just applying that knowledge to, I'm in love right now with how your approach to events are with what you're doing. So on the list, add this to the list. We're going to do some joy shops because, you know, now that things are opening back up, we're going to do more face-to-face stuff. Right. So we have to make sure we're incorporating the joy shops with that because we do comic book creation, we do streaming, we do social media marketing, game design, graphic design. We hit all of those, film production. Nice. You know, all of those. We teach online radio, doing podcasts. And so creating joy shops around those will be something great because we partner with parks and recs, wherever the kids are, schools, churches. And so we go into that. I like to change. I like to unschool people's thinking. So instead of calling it the workshop, call it the joy shop. Right. And so they're like, oh,
well, I mean, that's trademark, but you know.
I mean, but no. But I'm saying you're gonna be coming. It's not me coming with the joy. So no, I'm messing. It's us coming with the joy shop. He's so crazy. So hey, listen. I'm telling you one thing I don't play with folks on, and I'm not saying this is funny. Listen, people will hear your ideas, and then they will go run with your ideas. And the teacher, as an educator, that's kind of a master teacher told me this: we don't steal, we borrow. And we going forward.
Admire and acquire.
There it is. So, but with this, because these are our companies.
And these are our people, we have to bring each other in.
We're going to bring each other in. Right. I don't go anywhere without my folks.
I love it.
And when I find my people come with me. I stick my foot in the door, and then we go ahead and bum rush. Right. And that's what we got to do. So that's kind of the whole... So, I'm calling, when I'm talking about it, and I'm just let y'all out there know, when I'm talking about these joy shots, please know Kenjoy is there. She's with us. She don't even know. We have a partnership. The ink is wet still. We're gonna let it finalize, and we're gonna do that. So I think it's time to make another transition. All right, let's get it. I'm having a lot of fun. There's a lot of nuggets being dropped on this one too. So I hope y'all are enjoying it out there. But it's time for another transition. Let's go back to my roots right here.
The transitional.
The transition music.
Set. Man.
Hey.
You got this down packed.
See what I said?
C-A-U.
Wait a minute, you went to Clark?
C-A. Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness. No, I went to Tuskegee, but because I saw the joint like, I'm sitting next to another Clark. No. But hey, before we get into that, I'm just GameFi podcast, y'all. We talk everything gaming, arts, music, esports, and film. We're transitioning over to... She's doing a whole stand routine. We're transitioning over to the esports segment. It's your boy, Crane Violet, sitting next to Big Cat Visual. Big Cat Visual. I'm loving our name. See, this is what I'm talking about, the Kenjoy takeover on the GameFi Oop, I'm about to mess up. GameFi podcast. We're having way too much fun. So, man, let's get into this real quick. You heard our marching band come through. So, you know, we always give shouts out to our HBCUs. We do a lot of work with minority serving institutions, which are your HBCUs, tribal colleges, Latin Hispanic serving institutions, Pacific Islander, and indigenous serving institutions. So, nice. And the like. So, Clark, Atlanta, I heard you give a CAU shout out. My mom went to Clark Atlanta University, and she had children, and which was myself and my sister, and finished at Georgia State. But she is CAU down. She will be a Panther till the day she dies. Yes. And I have a lot of family that went to CAU. So what CAU class of? 2001.
2002, 2002.
It's okay. Let me tell you why. Because those years, I think I'm Tuskegee University class of 2003. I'm pretty sure. See, I know when I started in 1997. See, I graduated high school in 96. I went to the Navy for a year. It didn't stick. Okay. And then I went to Tuskegee. And my mama said I stayed there a little too long because it was fun. But I mean, you know,
it was developing.
It was. I would not be the person I am today if it was not for Tuskegee University.
Here. Same here.
My experiences there. Yeah. So one of the things we like to do is make sure, when we were talking about culture, that, you know, a lot of people talk about the relevancy of HBCUs and what we learned at a HBCU. And I'm just gonna pose a question. If somebody came to you and said, are HBCUs still relevant, you would say?
Yes. Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Tell them why.
Why not? I mean, it's not just about the content. I think people all automatically go, when they think college, they think about the content. Yes, of course, you go to college to learn, of course. However, you also go to college to find yourself, to find your identity, to grow for personal growth, and you can't do that in anywhere else than at HBCU.
Especially if you're black. Or a person of color. Because first of all, people think about HBCUs, they want to holler reverse racism. Look, everybody, listen. No such thing. Our doors are open.
No such thing.
And if you think, and see, I always have nugget. This is nugget right here. If you go on an HBCU campus that hasn't been renovated too much due to storms or anything like that, you will see that most buildings are facing into the yard and not away from the yard because white people did not want to see educated black people going to school. So they weren't allowed to leave their buildings to go out towards the street. You had to go back into the yard so you weren't offending anybody. And the only people that could really use the back doors to go out the back to the street were the white professors and teachers or staff. So right there in the architecture of the school, it was already built on racist, white supremacist thinking and ideals because we weren't allowed to build our own schools the way we wanted to build our own schools. I digress. I'm off of my soapbox at this point.
Did you learn that at an HBCU?
Oh, yeah, I learned it at Tuskegee. Okay. Because that was during orientation. Because see, you are made to take orientation first when you come on. Now this is you have to do it. If you don't do orientation, then you're not going to be ready for a campus. It orients you. It gets you ready because you learn all your chants. You learn the history of the school. Right. You learn how to become a part of the school, so you're bleeding your school colors, right? Which was crimson and gold for myself. And y'all be red and black or crimson and black?
Red, black, and white.
Red, black, and white. Yeah. So you bleed all those colors.
Right.
So y'all had a bunch of extra colors. We just had two basic colors. We weren't trying to give up all that black. I'm just kidding.
Even throw some gray in there too. Red, black, red, okay, great.
But and you know, it's funny because you'll find out about schools and all that and their colors, and you see the primary color. And then you find out about the other colors that are in there. So I'm a professor at Morris Brown College as well.
Nice.
And so we brought an esports degree program there. We've stood it up. We have the Ronald Floyd Thomas Center for Esports and Innovation, named after my father, who's a graduate of Morris Brown College. And the story there, and I always say this, and I always have to give homage to my dad because, you know, he was an architect, and he started school. But again, like my mom, when she started having, well, actually when we grew up a little bit, she went back to Georgia State to finish her business degree. And he said, you know what? I got this. I must keep working full time while you do what you need to do. And probably 3 years before I graduated Tuskegee, he was like, son, I cannot allow you to be the first man in our family to graduate college. So I need to go back to college. And he was able to go back to Morris Brown College in their business management, OLM, organizational management leadership degree.
Okay.
And so that was built for, I don't like to call it continuing education. It was built for the adult students to come in, not just, regular students.
Post-baccalaureate?
Well, no, it wasn't even post. It was they never, if you were like a parent who you let your kids grow up and you wanted to go back and get your degree, they built a program that was enticing and that would take your work experience. And they were doing this before DeVry and everybody else. They would take your work experience and let it count for credit. Nice. They would look at your past credits if you had any, and they make sure they apply that as well, and built a program to make sure that it was conducive for you. So these were a lot of night courses, a lot of weekend courses, so they could still be at work and do what they need to do and raise their families and be able to get their degree. It's like degrees for people with lives. Right. And so they built that program for them. And so he finished that, and he came out the year before I graduated. And so it was wonderful to see him that. And so we named it in honor of him because we wanted to make sure we brought his spirit and invoked his spirit as the students would walk through the doors to know that, okay, no matter the situation, no matter what you had to go through, this is the place that's going to speak into you and pour into you so that you can be the best that you can be, that you were created to be. Right. So so shouts out to Morris Brown and all the HBCUs, because the AU Center, which is Morehouse, Spelman, Morris Brown, Clark Atlanta University, and ITC. Yes. And ITC as well. There's not a whole lot of places that have that center of education, center of learning, of higher education that's there, along with, Georgia State is a minority serving institution as well. Then you have Atlanta Area Tech and Metro about 10 minutes from the campus as well. So there's a lot of opportunity for people of color, just people who feel like, you got to find something that fits you to be able to go to school. So we always like to make sure we're plugging them in with what we're doing. And esports is a way to do that. Esports is a $3 billion industry that's growing in leaps and bounds. But the images that you see, the popular images that you see, if you Google it, you only going to see white Asian male. And then you're starting now to see a few women and start a few people of color. But if it's a 5-person team, you got 1 person of color. So, it's still a little disparaging at that point. But esports is moving in the right direction. One of the ways we do that is that we make sure that esports is present and prevalent on the campuses, because esports is not just about playing games. It's about the industry and opportunities for folks to go into that touches all digital entertainment. Events being one of the largest things. COVID put a damper on it. And so let me ask you that question. How long have you had your company, number one? So
KenJoy actually was born out of COVID. So 7 months.
Perfect segue. Yeah. So you started. So tell me the first event. So it was out of COVID. What was your first event like?
It was a flower design class. So it was a joy shop. So
was it virtual only, or was it in person?
No, it was something I did out of joy, to bring happiness myself. And I did it with just my friends, and my friends used to have so much fun with it. They're like, "Oh, you have to do this." And I was like,
love those friends.
I'll try, because just because you have a passion for something doesn't mean you're a business owner either, too.
Well, you just get you get a team. You don't have to do it by yourself. You get a team,
right?
Get a team. Get the people that say, okay, well, y'all said, and then you talk to those friends that said start this company. Now y'all said I should start this company, so that means I need y'all support. That remind me, one of my mentees. I'm a youth minister as well, so I was a youth pastor at Greater Piney Grove Baptist Church on Glenwood here in Atlanta. And one of my young men was an artist. He was a performer. Even then, he could dance, sing, act. He just had it all. So he's, of course, grown up now. He's a full-on adult. Okay. He's adulting, and he has a show coming up. And his momager, sent out the flyer for the show. And, it's like $12 a ticket. And I was like, okay, bet. I was like, cool, that's good to look at. So this is what we're going to do. I said, give me 6 tickets. I went ahead and bought those 6 tickets because everybody's already chiming in social media. Oh, great, awesome, great picture, this, that, other. So I chime in, just got my 6 tickets. Who's next? Nice. Who's going to support my boy? Nice. Because I understand that, it has to be some support that goes there. Right. So now you got your friends that are supporting you. Right. And you started your first event out of COVID. So what was your first event sans friends that was for everybody else. What was that like?
That was the adult field day.
Okay. Oh, okay. That was adult field day. Yeah. Okay. So, we got our friends. Now we got 40, 50 people showing up. So what was it? Did we have we had our next event after that?
Next event was fitness, soca fitness.
Okay. And what is soca fitness?
So soca music.
Okay.
So I my trainer, my actual personal trainer.
Putting people on that you know.
Yes. She is awesome. Her energy is like 100. And I love, one of my favorite classes that I used to take from her was soca. Okay. I hate working out, but if she throws on some soca music or throws on some African music.
Now we will dance.
Right.
And if you want to, comedian, female comedian. My God, she was the auntie in that Christmas. Monique, thank you. Okay. Monique has been doing dancing to lose weight, and she was chronicling that all throughout COVID, and she is so healthy and fit right now. She's danced it all the way out and just killing it. And just to show again, just us being active and moving. You don't have to go in and live for the traditional stuff.
Right.
I'm all about non-traditional.
Right.
And it sounds like with Joy Shops and it's Joy Shops
and Joy Events.
Joy Events. Thank you. Joy Shops and Joy Events. They are not traditional.
Right.
And I'm cool with that. Because I'm a little untraditional myself.
I mean, half of it kind of was born out of I'm tired of clubs. I'm sorry. Like, I love it.
I'm too old for that.
I mean, I'll still go to the club and I'll still do this. But there's other stuff for us to do.
Like I said, I need to come out there saying that I enjoyed it and not that I want to go ahead and grab a V8. I need that, and if I go to clubs now, that's how I feel. Some of those clubs, I feel that way. Now, if it's a party thrown by one of my friends, or somebody like a homecoming event or something like that, they do it right. They do it right. But then a lot of people don't. They doing the mainstream thing. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this ain't for me. I don't know why I'm in these streets. Why am I? Kaya. Oh man. Oh, Club Kaya, the Gate.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think. What was the Gate before the Gate? Because see, like I said, I'm from Decatur. I'm from Decatur. So
we had Essos back then. Point blank, we had dance floors.
Listen.
That's all I'm saying.
There weren't really chairs inside of these clubs. They were just big box rooms and like old warehouses, and we danced and we sweated and we did. See, in Tuskegee, we had the farm. So this dude had a barn, and we just turned that into a club. And we had atmosphere. Atmosphere went away, and then we went to that. Oh my God, I can't even think. It's been so long, I can't even think of it. I just call it the farm. I used to always call it the farm, and we used to throw all these parties there, and we would have them in the neighborhoods, in the complex, in the apartments. But now we are at Clark, Atlanta. What's your favorite memory from Clark, Atlanta? Or is there too many favorite memories?
I would say. Freshman year step team. I was on my freshman year step team.
So let me explain this. Let me explain this for everybody. See, we got to bring people up to speed. You can pledge almost anything at an HBCU. Mm-hmm. You can pledge to be a campus escort, and that's not no dating escort. These are the people who take you around to show you the campus and all this. And so you can do that. And if your dorm, you would pledge your dorm. Yep. And be on the step team, especially freshman year. Yep. You would be on that. And so people who are pledging other sororities and fraternities that probably either were RAs living in the dorm or just on campus, they would come and adopt one of those. If it was the dorm that they came from, they would make sure that they would come and be a part of the step team, and you would learn how to step. But everybody would have a dorm step show. Did y'all win?
We came in second place.
Oh, y'all came in second place. Oh man, but those dorm step shows that would happen like right before homecoming. Those were like, I mean, forget about the regular step shows, which would still be cool. But those were the shows that everybody wanted to see, and also those were kind of like pre-hazing, pre-recruitment for sororities and fraternities. I'm like, okay, they look pretty good out there. And you would make sure you was doing your thing so they could be like, yeah, okay. When you meet them, they'll be like, okay, I know who you are. I know you might be able to bring a little something to what we're doing here. Right. And so, man, that was dorm step. I'm telling you bringing back a lot of stuff. Oh my gosh, I love the dorm step show. So after the dorm step show, what about any homecomings?
I went blank.
You went.
No,
that does happen on the HBCU campuses. That does happen.
I would say the relationships made. I am still friends for. I've had the same girlfriends I've had. I have a clique of 7, and we've known each other for 23 years.
And that is the beauty of HBCUs as well.
Yes.
A lot of my friends that went to PWIs, predominantly white institutions, they don't have those groups of friends like how we have those groups of friends. They don't. I mean, they don't. And then fraternity rise, unless they did a Divine Nine, they not even really with their fraternity brothers and sisters like that. They're like, y'all still. I remember my first job, and I was saying I was going to my fraternity. We were doing a youth event or something we had going on. And they're like, you still doing your fraternity stuff? I was like, wait a minute.
Right.
Y'all don't?
Right.
I couldn't, to me, that's what made sense, but I don't know. And that's what, anywho, because that's what helped me want to be a teacher, working with the youth and continue to work with youth. And that's why I do what I do today. But that was a lot of fun. I marched in the band as well. So I had a lot of memories and a lot of fun that we had, and family. So I got a lot of new aunties and uncles when I was in college, because I would, how many road trips did you take to other people's houses when you were in school?
I went to Chattanooga. My best friend was from Chattanooga. Okay. Shout out Amber Spratling. We went to California.
Oh, see?
Yeah. We
all the way out to the West Coast. Yeah. That's how you do it.
Yeah. Because, and again, when you're raised in one spot, I mean, I don't know about you. We didn't leave the block. I grew up on one side of Hartford. We kind of stayed up there. And other than like the community service activities that my mother had us in, that's all we knew. And so coming to Atlanta was the first real time. I mean, we left, a little bit, but that was the first real time I met people from other states, from other places. So you begin to get that. I say that brings that makes you a different person when you meet people from others.
And you learn their courts, you learn their culture, you learn their upbringing and just how they function. And then you find out that
you learn about grits.
Well, first, I knew about grits. I'm from the South. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's either the grits you eat or the girls raised in the South. I don't know which one you're talking about. But you learn about, so you learned about grits.
About the grits you eat. We had cream of wheat.
Right. Now, I was going to say, y'all did that nasty old cream of wheat stuff out there up north and out there,
yes,
man.
Sir.
I don't know how y'all do
cream
that.
Of wheat.
I give you some grits, butter, and salt, and we good.
I learned about thick, too. I was fat in Connecticut. I was thick down here.
No, Shawty, we like them thick, man. You fit in here. And that's the other cool thing about HBCUs. You fit in, and you find your people. Yes. So as we're going through down memory lane, it's time to make another transition. This has been the GameFi podcast, the esports segment, and we're now moving over to film. Hey. This goes out to all the creatives out there that are doing your thing. Keep doing your thing. Positive vibes going out to you. Much love. GameFi podcast. We talk everything gaming, arts, music, esports, and now we're in the film segment where we're going to talk about film, which is a perfect segue because I can tell you about my little almost encounter with Method Man in his film, because Method Man is doing his thing on the Power universe. Shouts out to 50 Cent, who has co-opted the whole network and got people plugged into stars on Sundays and whatnot, but doing the doggone thing. So the film industry is huge out here. Movies, film, how do you feel about that?
Believe it or not, like I said, I'm an 80s, 90s. I'm gonna take it back real quick and say, film is what made me want to go to college, and that was watching those. What? Come on now.
School days.
I
already know.
School days.
And then on television.
A different world.
Shouts out to a different world.
You have to.
And which was actually depicted as a school in Atlanta. Not in Atlanta.
It was in Virginia.
But the images were like Spelman and Clark. And they were using the AUC schools in the images for Hillman College. Yeah. So shouts out again to that crew that made it look cool to go to school. Right. I mean, I knew I had to go to school because of a different world, and they did a real good job letting us see ourselves on college campus. Yes. I think that's what really made it do, and I think that's what some of the students now are not benefiting from. Right. They don't get a chance. I mean, what's the name of the show? Blackish.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not Blackish.
Grownish.
Grownish, thank you. That's on the college campus. And so hopefully it's on
He went to Clark. Sorry.
Oh, ooh. Oh, you talking about
not Kwanzaa?
oh my God, what is his name? You know what?
Oh,
we might get it towards the end. If you get it, just popcorn it out. You know, going back to school, popcorn it out. Film. So Morris Brown College in our center, we did a great job with that. The quad, if you ever saw that, was filmed on on the Fountain Hall at Morris Brown College. They use a lot of that. The yard right there to film a lot of the quad. Drumline depicted Morris Brown College. So, you know, Morris Brown College has been utilized in a lot of films to date. So we're still there. We're still doing that. We still have productions coming in. And my center was turned into a radio station for a film. I don't know the name of the film. I don't think I'm supposed to say it if I do. But I just know, you know, famous people was walking through. Oh, and I got to see a scene with Method Man in it. He was there.
Call me?
I didn't know he was there. I didn't know he was there. I really didn't. And my wife is a huge Method Man fan. And, you know, I came home and told her, I was like, you know, I was right in the room next door to Method Man. I didn't see him, but I was right there. So it was cool to see that happening. It's cool to see a HBC being used in that way because there's a lot of money in the film industry that's coming in. Have you thought about, you know, there's a lot of parties and rap parties that happen at the end of shootings and stuff like that. Shootings, I shouldn't say shootings. That's, you know, that's bad connotation. When films are over, when they're done filming the film, I guess I could say it that way, there are parties that happen.
Right.
Would you like to throw?
I would love that. That would be awesome. I've never even thought of that. But yeah.
Hey, we need a joy, you know, hey. And then around filming, around filming itself, there are a lot of people that need to get into the industry and they need to know how to get in the industry. And that sounds like a couple of joy events and joy shops to show people how to, you know, go into film, even getting the modeling or commercials or television, broadcasting, crew work, all of that different things. Shouts out to Jay Black, Run Crew. I say One Crew, it's Crew Run. You know, One Crew, you know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about 100. They had one of the groups in the TV show 100 was One Crew. They did that when never mind. I will go down the rabbit hole in like 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Favorite movie?
Y'all gonna think I'm lame.
Oh, ain't nobody. Listen. This is the GameFi podcast is a safe space for creatives and interpretation.
Fifth Element.
What? Why is that lame?
I love Fifth Element.
Chris Rock.
Yes.
He was amazing.
Chris Rock.
In Fifth Element. Yes. And then the lady, I don't know her name.
Lilu.
But what's her real name? That's her name in the movie. Say again? Mila Jovovich. Oh, I said Chris Rock. Thank you. You know what? If he see this, he be like, what's wrong with you, man? He like, I'm from Atlanta. I'm from Decatur like you, man. And you know, I mean, Chris Tucker. And see, when Chris Rock was coming out my mouth, I was like, that don't feel right. It's Chris Tucker. Tucker. Shouts out to Chris Tucker. That's ATL as it gets. Say it again. Oh, man, she killed that operette. That man, she killed that. She killed that, man. But it was so. And see, I'm a sci-fi fan. Somebody asked me my favorite genre of movies, and I was like, I love horror, but sci-fi. For me, sci-fi is here, and then you know, horror is about right there for me. And then after that, it's like historical epic type of films. Okay. So you know, I like I was a Game of Thrones fan, and then I like the Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. Oh, but that's still that kind of
shameless plug.
Go ahead.
I'm having a House of Thrones viewing party January 1st, so look out for that.
I'm coming.
House of Dragons.
House of Dragons. Ah! So if you were in Game of Thrones, who would you have been? Who you would have been? Who would you have been?
I don't know, man.
Would you have been? Now
I'd have been Arya, I guess, because Arya was hardcore.
I'm telling you, she was bad.
Right, she was the little tomboy, I guess.
She was bad.
Right.
Yeah, I would have been. Let's see. I really did like Jon Snow. I really did like Jon Snow because, he was, people were betting against him.
Right.
They didn't think he had any. They didn't want to put him in any stations in life. They thought he was nobody.
The bastard.
Right. The bastard Jon Snow. Exactly. And they weren't going to give him any kind of clout. And everybody that was above him in his family kind of either died or, got kind of cast away. So it was left up to him to really bring in what needed to be brought in to save the day. So it ended horribly, but I think they just ran out of time and money.
I agree.
So you know how that goes. But it was great. It was a great film. So I'm definitely coming. I'm going to be a part of that. I will get my cosplay on. Woo! So are we dressing up to
yes.
come? We got
It's optional, but yes.
You got to be inclusive. Not everybody likes to dress up.
Not everybody. I don't know
now,
why.
if you don't dress up, now you're lame.
Yes.
No, I'm not going to say that. This is a safe space.
You're lame.
This is a safe space. GameFi podcast is a safe space for creatives and inspiration. All right. So if you don't want to dress up, but you just think that way, that's enough for me. That is enough for me. So we're going to do the House of Dragons. You say, when is it? January 21st?
January 1st.
January 1st.
Yes, so, New Year's Day.
So New Year's Day. So, okay, is it going to be like going from New Year's Eve into New Year's Day, or does it actually happen on New Year's Day?
It actually happens on New Year's Day. I didn't want to compete with New Year Eve.
Okay, well, first of all, I think the House of Dragons would be a awesome crunk way to bring in the new year in the House of Dragon, but that's okay.
I agree.
That's okay. We will do that. We will do whatever we do. You know what? We church folks. We'll go watch the night. We'll watch the night, and then we'll end up at the House of Dragons after we watch the night.
You go.
That way, there's no conflict. I ain't got to feel like I can't stay. I can't stay and finish praying on my knees while the lights out on the pew, and then they turn it on, and after the preacher done hooped and everything, because we are coming out of COVID, and hopefully we're actually able to do watch night service in person, but we can't because everybody will want to come, and then that would be a super spreader event. So it's probably going to be mostly virtual.
Okay.
Mostly virtual. So, it's good. So then we'll go to the House of Dragons to see some people in person.
Okay.
That's how we'll do that.
I like it.
I like it.
It's balance. Nice balance. I like that.
Work-life balance. You got to have it in there. Got to have fun. So we got the House of Dragons on January. Man, any other films growing up that you can think of?
No. I'm gonna say, look,
you can do it.
Gamer. No. I'm such a gamer. I don't want to tell you.
But you can do it.
I'm gonna say if you know the film, just based off of.
Now, I'm gonna preface this.
Okay.
One of my first jobs was Blockbuster Video.
Oh, okay.
So if you tell me a little bit about a video, I'm probably gonna tell you what it is.
As you wish. As you wish.
Bride. Princess Bride.
Yes, sir.
Come on. I see. Oh, Kimco, you trying to check? She trying to. What's my name again? Yeah, I am the Crane Valley. You trying to test my gangster?
What?
You trying to test my gangster in my movie job? Hey, come on, movie son. We do this, movie son. Let's go. What you got for me?
I'm definitely, like I said, an '80s baby. So all those '80s shows, love them.
Those were very good shows and movies in the '80s, early '90s.
Clueless. Still a Clueless fan. I don't care.
I enjoyed. First of all, when I look at movies, I'm looking for the enjoyment.
Right.
I'm not looking for Academy Award winning such and such and this, that, and the other. I needed to entertain because the movies that win those awards suck sometimes. I ain't gonna say all of them.
80%.
But sometimes.
80%.
80%. I'm with you. I got your back. They are not. They weren't good. They
And they don't necessarily speak to me.
Yeah, and
they're speaking to whoever they need to, but they don't necessarily speak to me.
Illegal Montoya, whatever the swordsman.
You killed my father. I was gonna wear that shirt today.
Oh, you should have wore. You should have wore. But it's okay. My name is Malika Montoya. You killed my father.
Prepared to die.
Prepared to die. He was getting stabbed, and then he finally, he killed a man with the 6 fingers. See, that's how into movies that I am. I am a movie nerd. Oh, next episode we're going to have holiday trivia, because we were talking about this earlier when we were coming in. You know, people talk about Thanksgiving, and I came in saying happy holidays. Jay Black was like, you know what? I don't even know what to say no more, because, you know, when we actually start to peel back the layers of what has happened in our history and how they derive the names of these holidays, you know, it's like, do we really celebrate that? Columbus Day? No, Indigenous Peoples Day. Right. Thanksgiving? Happy holidays. I am thankful. There are things that I'm thankful for,
yeah,
but I'm not thankful for the pilgrims landing on us.
Exactly.
You know, I ain't thankful for that.
My family celebrates Moja Karamo, so I didn't grow up on Thanksgiving.
Oh, wait. Explain that. I don't know what that is. I never heard of it.
It's you break the journey of the Black person into groups, and then each person in the family represents like post-slavery, pre-slavery, civil rights, future, Moja Karamo.
Wait. So I
hate
just got
saying
into
this, but
Kwanzaa.
as they say, I have to say Kwanzaa is the Black Christmas and Moja Karamo is the Black Thanksgiving. Yeah, I hate saying that, but yeah.
I mean, that's okay. I mean, it's okay. You break it down so I can understand. Right. However, I feel like I've been cheated in my life,
right?
Because I would rock that.
Oh,
listen.
Yes.
We have a family tradition. When my dad passed away, you know, we were like, you know, we're not going to stay in Atlanta and do traditional family stuff. We want to make new traditions. Okay. And so we've always been going down to Florida to celebrate with a bunch of family. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to find out everything I need to find out about that holiday, and that's what we're doing.
All right.
That's what we're doing. I
love it.
That's what we're doing, because, again, I see the education. I want to teach my children, let them know about our history.
Right.
You know, and remember what we've done, what we've been through, and how we've overcome, and what we're still to become.
Right.
With everything that we're working on right now. So, man, that's dropping some knowledge. That's what's up, y'all. Man, listen. I don't want to say goodbye. Till next time.
Till next time.
Until next time. This has been Crane Violet with my co-host,
Big Cat Visual,
in the house on the GameFi podcast, where we talk everything gaming, arts, music, esports, and film. And with that, we're going ahead and call those boys in, because it's time to go. Love y'all. Peace up, A-Town down. All the funds. Thanks for joining us. We'll see y'all soon. Love y'all.